you. Thank you. So thank you, Mauro, for having us this morning here early from the States. I work for Risk IQ. I've been around the internet industry about 20 plus years. Certainly Mauro and I go back a long time. I've always worked in peering and transit over these years. Now I'm actually in the threat end of things with cybersecurity. And I've been a member of the mix at a couple of different companies and been to Italy many times. I actually thought that maybe this would be the first event that would be open for travel and I would get to Italy, but it didn't happen that way. So a little bit about Risk IQ. The company's more than 10 years old. We have about 250 people working around the world in security. We're funded by some companies out of the Northern California area, out of San Francisco. And essentially, we're big in the enterprise area with sort of threat detection and monitoring and security. So how do we get some of this information? Well, we have built out a large network of probes and sensors that crawl the internet for the last 10 years and store that information in order to follow IP addresses and domains across the world. And that's really super important for threat detection and management. Is you really want to be able to see where a host may have been as they move around from one ISP to another. And that's something that we've kept track of for many, many years and has come back to help our customers. So a couple of things we found. I call this, we found bad things, and I'm just going to talk about a few of them. And so the first one is the most recent one that really impacted a lot of companies across the world. There's something like 400,000 hosts we found working with Microsoft in order to see and detect, using a sensor network that we built out, of what is still reachable. And that includes whether the host was patched or not, based on what files are on the server, but also if it had been taken over. And after more than a month or what have you, there's still a large number of hosts around the world that have now been compromised and are possibly owned by someone else now. And the problem with that is that the person in control of that could send you an email requesting, a password reset or something else. And you wouldn't be able to know that that is coming from, a compromised server from your own company. And it could be something to reset your financial information or gain access to something because it would look valid. So there's still thousands of those out there that are either unpatched or are now been taken over by folks. Another thing that we actively looked at and found is this Cobalt Strike tool. And the problem with this one is that this probe or this hack onto a server allows for someone to gain control of it. And they're really into smaller businesses and taking over those servers and holding them hostage for ransom. This happened to a friend of mine's company, and they had insurance to pay. And then over the course of a month or two, they negotiated with these criminals and wound up paying them out of the protection insurance, millions of US dollars, which is probably was completely preventable had they been watching their information a little better and controlling their servers. Since then, they've moved things. we observe these all the time. They're ongoing, and we keep track of this information for many years and where these operators are. Inside, one of our tools, it looks like this, which is an IP address associated with the command and control Cobalt Strike category. And then within there, you're able to see who is, what IP addresses and what have you. You can search for that. And that's a free tool available to the public. I don't know if you guys remember this a year or two ago. This was a really good one. Everyone saw this, I think, on the internet, which is, hey, if you send money, I'll match this money. And a complete scam that was done to try to get crypto money because of a hack behind Twitter. I don't think they actually ever said what the cause of this was. I don't know if it was internal or something. I was looking for this the other day, but what we were able to do is we were able to find this domain, and then with that, we're able to see all of these accounts, all of these people that are affected, and then share this information with Twitter in this particular case, where all of these hacks came from. We found like 183 unique domains that had been, that we had crawled and seen this URL that was on there. And this is kind of a list of them that we found. I don't know if you can see this screen very well, but these are just a sample list of all the domains and URLs that contained a lot of times this clipboard.js script that contained that malicious code that then people subsequently wound up getting, hopefully none of us contributed to this, but certainly there were probably people that did. So how can a mixed customer access this info? We have two ways that people share data with RiskIQ. There's companies around the world, they send data directly to us, and we have like a Grafana hosted site where all of this information resides, which is the combination of RiskIQ data and NetFlow data. And then the other way that folks can share this information is they can use a product that we're built into, like Elastaflow, and we push that data into that tool, which looks like this. There's a tab that's called threats within a tool. And on the threats page, that information of your traffic that is traveling or connecting to known IP addresses that are malicious or other sort of threat actors gets related within that page, so you're able to see what things happen. So that's pretty much it. If there's questions or if you want to reach me, I'm easily reachable. I'll probably go back to sleep today, but in general, I'm very easily reached. So thank you.
Okay, Peter, thank you very much. And if there will be questions for you, I will throw a bucket of fresh water into you and wake you up.
Perfect.
Oh. Thank you.